Barbie came to visit.
What a timing, too. Just kicking it off. Barbie's here. We got Rob here. We got me here. Yes. Hey, everybody. This is Dominic D'Angelo. I am of several outlets, but today we are on the Premier Streaming Network. We not only have me, but we have Barbie. We have Mr. Monday Night, Mr. Every Day of the Week, too. Rob Van Dam. Look at Barbie. Holy smokes. Jeez. How old is she, Rob?
3. Her birthday is today or tomorrow. We're trying to figure that out.
Oh, wow.
Might have to look at
Oh, my gosh.
black dogs, like, people can relate to this. If their face is really black, sometimes they're not very photogenic. They don't show up in pictures.
No.
It's
I have
hard
a
to
black
see.
cat too, and it's like you can't see him. It's like you have to really. I have to make sure he's got like a white background behind him and shit.
Right. Let me make sure my lens is clean. I think it is, but I just remembered that lightning streak.
Oh, somebody made mention of that on YouTube. Yeah. There was a lot of comments. Somebody called me a smiley goon on there. I was.
You are a smiley dude, though.
Thanks. I know. I
think that it works well. Like
thanks, brother.
I noticed
that. Not a lot to talk about this week, huh?
I noticed that. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's get to it, dude. I was gonna say I noticed that early on. That energy of yours, and at first I was thinking like it's going to come across like we don't know each other because you seem like come across like so excited, like every time is like your only chance to interview me or something, I was like, is that good? And then right away I learned it's a good thing, keeps it good combo. We got good chemistry, and if they don't like us, fuck them.
Tough titty, that's what I say.
Speaking of,
yes,
yeah,
you had some things you wanted to say starting off, huh?
Yeah, I thought about this, and I could just babyface it, and that's probably more consistent with what I would normally do. Is just smile, but I'm gonna go on a little rant here. And it's because I believe in accountability. How else can we hold people accountable and then just let them boom pass right over, unless we at least call them out. So last night, I got home last night, I guess it was Wednesday, I had a match with Jungle Boy on AEW, and a lot of people saw that match. Going into the match, there was a lot of shit talkers. And I mean, there was a lot of good energy, and I know that what they say is bullshit, but it's a is Barbie still in here? The maids are making too much noise. If I shut the door, the Barbie starts scratching. She's gonna fuck us up here. But so anyway, there's always going to be people that talk shit, but just like all of my values that I share with everybody here, they come up every single day in conversation. It's part of who I am, and I'm also very open about my thoughts on things, especially if we're talking about things that that maybe my experience could help people with and stuff, right? I did a signing last weekend in let's see, it's always easier to remember where I'm going than where I was, but
Tulsa, right? Weren't you in Tulsa?
Tulsa, Oklahoma Comic Con, yeah. And I was having this conversation about age and about how people limit themselves with just the most basic thinking, and then it affects their whole fucking life, So anyway. My mind's going in a bunch of places right now. So we got this dude helping us. He's our agent, me and Katie's agent at the table, helping, with the line of fans and stuff. And this little dude gets up from the seat and he says, "Oh, I'm old. Don't rush me." And dude, how old are you? He's 35 years old. Now, it strikes a nerve with me when I hear people say that, just because, and it's not even personal. It's not that I take it. It's just, it affects my faith in humanity. And that's why it's worth talking about right now, because, I inspire some people, and those people might be inspired by me saying this, 35, first off, is not old, but if you tell yourself that it is, then you will feel old. It's so ridiculous. Why do people do that? It's what the flock does, and the flock keeps everybody else down to their level so that you can have that basic thinking status quo. Anytime somebody tries to leave the flock or think outside of the fucking flock, it's going to be looked down upon. It's going to get opposition. I've been told my entire life that everything that I do is wrong. I'm making the wrong choices, from my career choices to my fuck.
Oh man,
I hate it when the water bottle has a cap on it.
Oh
and
yeah,
one of the reasons why you can't.
And then just pops. Yeah, I hate that.
Trust it. Yeah, I thought I could lift it by the cap. It's a new water bottle. Always though, because I think outside the box, and I don't want to just. I mean, my dreams were never okay. I want to hit status quo and just not go anywhere. Obviously, right? I mean, from my fucking career choices to my love life, to fucking my choice of using cannabis, to my choices of talking openly about all of these choices. All of that is looked down upon, opposed by the basic thinking status quo. I've said for years, and anybody that follows our ideology to a T, if you do, then you got to be prepared for this. It offers a fantastic life. I'm living my best life. Everything is phenomenal. And if you want to call it a downside, which it's not, people don't understand you. That's it. That's the only downside. So I don't relate to old, but I saw a lot of comments. RVD's too old. We talked about it. He's fragile. I right now at 52 years old, I have not yet reached an age where it would be advantageous for me to go backwards in time and be younger. And I know that's going to blow a lot of people's minds, and they're not going to even believe that. So, but I'm going to say it again because this is important. I have not yet reached an age where it would be advantageous for me to go back in time and be a younger age. Not one. I would have a lot of people around that have passed. If I was literally going back in time, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
As far as life experience, I just get smarter. I understand life more. I'm more comfortable with my relationship with the universe, with my commitment to make decisions, and with the impact that I have on everybody. Even I saw before the match. See, I haven't been on Twitter in days. I just it's too toxic.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, anybody that's messaged me in the last few days, maybe a day before the match up till now, I'll get your message eventually, if you wanted to tell me congratulations, good job, whatever. And even if you are somebody that didn't know and now you know, and you're like, wow, I got to say, you impressed me, you did good, fine. And if you think I didn't do good, that's fine too. And I expect that. Perception is reality. So the people that really wanted to see the worst, they probably found the worst. This is the way basic thinkers think. All right. Every match that I have, I'm my own worst critic. In my mind, I'm like, okay, the Rolling Thunder could have been better. Like he was a little bit too close, and I thought my feet were going to hit him. My momentum stopped for a second. In my mind, I'm always, like, what could I have done better?
Right.
In the basic thinker's mind, they'll see that one Rolling Thunder, and then boom, Well, he doesn't quite get the rolling thunder like he used to anymore. He's lost a couple steps. I know that that's the way they think.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't expect everybody to do the bout face. But I did look like on Instagram, and I was enjoying the people saying, "Where's all the shit talkers now? You guys were saying RVD was old and washed. What's up?" Which I don't even know what that means. If washed means that I took a shower, then yes.
I do that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm living my best life. And when it comes to the business end of it, some of that I'll be saving for the autobiography. Believe it or not, as open as I am, there's so much more that nobody has heard. And that's good. I mean, everything has just worked out organically, and that's how you have to do it. Before the match, when I was looking on YouTube, I saw, on Jim Cornette's little the thumbnail for his video. It's an animated RVD. I love that. They're always funny. Those are so catching. The animated. They're
like Hanna-Barbera kind of vibe, aren't they?
But the style changes every time depending on that's maybe different artists or just a really talented one. But anyway, I saw this guy. I said, oh God, let's see what he says about coming. And mostly his complaints were that he thinks the surprise was ruined. This was before my match.
Okay.
This is in between the coming up, and he was saying he thought Jerry Lynn gave away too much. That was mostly what he was going to. But then even he had to add, okay, when RVD came out, he looked like he was maybe stiff as a possum's pecker on prom night in Poughkeepsie, and it's like, dude, if you got worked by the fact that I kept my eyes on my opponent in the ring the whole time that I walked out and took a right and then a left, and I looked at him like the entire time. And if you got worked by that into thinking that he's as stiff as a beaver's boner in Battle Creek on whatever, Jim Cornette, you can eat a dick. And if he feels different now and he says that, then that's all good. And by the way, everybody, you still have a chance to come back. Mm-hmm. All right. This isn't, asking Jesus for forgiveness. And then that moment when you die, he says it's too late, right? Boom. Right. Even Jesus says, hey, you can cross the line. For me, of course, if fans want to throw me some respect or whatever, but I haven't been on Twitter because of just the toxicity of the trolls. And if you really believed in them as much as they want you to believe in them, they can bring you down. I mean, every kid at school knows what it's like to get bullied, and if everybody in your class when you're in fourth grade, everyone tells you that you're ugly, you're going to believe that you're ugly. Yeah. That's how you judge. And so the power of the word, which by the way is one of the fourth agreements, is to be conscious of how strong the power of your word is. It can go a long way, but for me, even if it's like, I know I have the insight. Maybe you didn't think that my chalk line RVD tank top was that flattering. Eat a dick. Like I give a fuck, right? Like I've ever cared that my abs don't show and I have a really thick, hard gut. Like I've always had that. And then fans, well, he's chubby. Come on, man. I've never been chubby. Right. Even when I was in TNA Impact, that's when some fans started saying, well, he is getting a little bit chubby. No, I have pictures, and I'm going to show some pictures of just this week. I could do it from 2010, but I take pictures every once in a while. Like I'm in the mirror and I'm like, hey, I'm going to keep track. It's part of documenting whatever, workouts, gains. Anyway, so I had the tank top on, and people are saying, oh my God, dude, how could you show up out of shape, this and that? Since I already know that I'm in fucking great shape, the best shape, how am I going to look at their comments other than idiot,
Right.
It's just I lose my faith in people. That's really the damage it does to me. And I just start thinking like people are so toxic, and the whole Twitter society and social media, and the existence of non-accountability, because it doesn't matter what the fuck you say. Just get another burner account. You got 0 followers anyway. And the whole thing is just like, it lowers my expectations, which I try not to have anyway, but it lowers my feeling of just what standard people are. And it's almost depressing to think because I know what that kind of thinking does, and I'm not just saying thinking RVD isn't the whole effing show is horrible thinking, but I'm just saying, like, overall, like, this collective information and studying that I do from everybody's thoughts, from purposely trolling, where they really just want to bring somebody down because their happiness hurts them somehow.
Right.
Lowest form of person there is. That's gross, and maybe even have a reason, that's like vindictive people, like hey, whatever, dude. I remember one time having a talk with a friend of mine that's vindictive, and we were talking about how my evil ex ended up marrying the handyman in my house, that put the fucking changed my toilet out to have my awesome Japanese bidet in there and do all this work and shit. And my friend said, dude, I'd put in some bad reviews on Yelp on that guy. Really? That's what your brain tells you? Oh my God.
That's what it goes to. You know what? Get them back at Yelp.
Right. Yeah. Any way you can make them suffer, you can get pleasure out of it. These people put eye drops in people's drinks that are rude to them because they want to. Oh, that's so funny. Anyway, my point that I wanted to make is, I mean, everything is subjective anyway. But I knew. And show him the picture, Dom. This is a picture that I took in my gym in between when I did my appearance in my tank top. And it was actually, I think, 1 or 2 days before the match. And even that smirk on my face, I'm like, these guys are so fucking stupid.
Right.
So, yeah. And if you want to say, oh, I did some kind of crash fucking diet in a week, I have another picture taken exactly 1 month prior to August 9th, which was my match. And that is the July 9th pictures. Dude, I have these on my phone sometimes, and I have them all the time and shit. And that's what I look like, 1 month ago. And I have some from a few months before that, whatever. So my point is, you guys are all idiots. If you can handle me saying eat a dick, and you still want to come back around, then we're good. That's pretty much all I can do to have him be accountable. And I appreciate all the support. I had a fun match. It was a great night. And for those basic thinkers, by the way, let me add this. I'm always trying to tell you, I understand the way that they think. I'm 52 years old. I'll be 53 in December. And after my match, because basic thinkers are like, well, bro, there's no way you can tell me that he didn't fucking have a hard time getting out of bed the next day, bro. Come on, man. You admit it, bro. All right. After the matches, Katie was with me. We had a lot of good brother time with friends.
Yeah.
I got close to 4 hours sleep, a little under, and then went to the airport and then flew home, had a shitty travel day because of delayed flights, and then got back last night. Guess what? I feel great, just like I normally do. Perception is reality. So for the people that don't believe that and want to think that I'm all jacked up or anything that they said or thought or whatever, then you guys are idiots. But moving forward, I just wanted to start with that and just, instead of just being a baby face and blowing it by and saying, oh, you like that? I'm going to say, I don't need to look at social media. I know I looked good. I know I did good. I did this exact same promo when I did Noah in All Japan. They walked me to a press conference table, and I said, I know I looked good. I know everyone is shocked and surprised. That's because you weren't prepared for it. I don't hide anything. I actually put everything out there. And if you are surprised and shocked, that's because you just weren't ready for it. You were dumbfounded, which the core word of dumbfounded is dumb.
Mm-hmm. And people don't find out till later on.
Yeah, and for anyone that's like, oh, he doesn't get as high on the 5-star frog splash, dude, everything is a variable. And, that was one match, which, by the way, I did enjoy, and the fans were awesome. Like I said in the post-match thing with Jerry Lynn.
Yeah.
Man, I always count on that connection with the fans and that positive energy. But the feeling that I get when I'm really in the moment usually surpasses even what I was expecting with my little expectations that I allow myself. And so, I didn't expect everyone to have like signs, RVD signs and stuff like that, and to be so in unison. Happy to have RVD there and shit. And so it was really cool. It was cool to go out there when I put him on the guardrail and I go up, I go up to do my thing, and just to hearing everybody pop, it's like, what? I was like, oh, you guys ready for this? I mean, that's a real moment.
Yeah.
I love that.
Dude, and that spot was awesome too. Like it was what I think it was the highlight of the match, but there was so much.
It was a lot further than I have sometimes, so that made it more interesting that I had a much further jump,
Yeah, like I was wondering about that. If you how big of an adjustment that was. I was going to ask this later, but how was the ring itself for you? Like, was it different, like an AEW ring in comparison to the other ones? Did you get to test out the ropes too beforehand? Because I knew I
should have. I think I climbed in for something and just talking or something and climbed out. But what I didn't notice until my match, the top rope seems like really high. I don't know why, but it seems like higher than a lot of the rings that I've been in, So definitely next time, if there is a next time, I'm gonna get in there early, and grab it and pull myself up for the 5-star, because it seems like it's just a little bit higher. And they told me beforehand that the apron, which is the part on the outside of the ropes of the canvas area, they said that that's a little wider than normal because they like to do shit on the apron,
on the apron.
All rings are a little bit different though. But about this one, I guess it was a lot more special than I realized, and maybe just because I was into my match or whatever. But the guy that owns the ring, Bob Rose, I think is his name. Like, I've known him forever. I saw him earlier in the daytime, and I was just talking about, man, I know like so many of these crew guys. It's surprising. Both weeks, like, I'm seeing people that I've worked with for decades. I don't even know which company I worked with them for. It's just, dude, I know I've worked with this guy a lot and that. And I was just talking to someone about that, and then Bob's like, hey, and I'm like, whoa, there's one right now. He used to own the ring and set it up and rent it out or whatever to TNA at the Universal Studios. And he was saying it's a special ring that's a compression ring, which I never heard of. But the way he described it, I didn't really understand what made it really different. Something about the cross support underneath. But again, I mean, a lot of them have that, and I didn't notice. But it was a good ring. I noticed when it's shitty, and a lot of times on the indie shows, just the fact that, and maybe it's because I don't wear wrestling boots, because I have special thin-soled ones, because I don't care about how tall I am. I'm one of them real motherfuckers.
That's right, legit.
And a lot of times the canvas will trip me up. Like, it'll either be too loose or the shit underneath it is too soft and the canvas isn't pulled tight enough on it to where just a little bit of sinking fucks me up if I'm doing like a spin. My pivot foot gets caught in there or something. It's really, I mean, I noticed to just run into the corner and I'll go to spin, might throw my leg up, and it's that little thing like that. And I'm like, God, thank God I didn't just, twist my knee. Thank God I'm Rob Van Dam and, not some fragile.
Not fragile. Bad right.
No, but it was good. The ring was definitely good, and the ropes seemed to be a little higher, which I don't. It is. It's higher than the rings I've been in lately.
You made the adjustment smooth though. It was like
I know all about being higher.
Yeah, that's right. I think you made the adjustment smooth though when you leapt up. You leapt up real quick on the second rope and it just pulled it off very nicely.
So, yeah. Well, yeah. Sometimes you got to think on the spot. The split leg moonsault too. It was like there was like a little hesitation there with my bounce, and awesome how I was just able to save it, but I will get in there next time and feel it out a little bit, because on the spot I was like, wait a second, is this like 2 inches taller and is that gonna fuck me up? Didn't have time to really think about it much, so I had to kind of go with the moment.
I can only imagine that just even some of those minor changes could be a big adjustment too. Once in a while, I was like, oh, how am I going to accommodate for this, or what do I got to kind of do to react to that well and stuff like that.
Yeah. Definitely. No, I guess I just didn't notice it earlier, because I do remember being in there and feeling the tightness and seeing if I could stuff a chair in between the ropes and shit good or not. And if I did notice, then I forgot. It's possible too.
Now, if I had one criticism, not of the match itself, but the production, television presentation standpoint of it all, I wish they would have let Walk play a little bit more. I know they're tight on time constraints and stuff like that, but it was like I wanted to hear Walk more when you got a little bit more of an opportunity for you to walk out to the ring. But otherwise,
you just reminded me though. The one other thing that Corny said, and I know he's not going to bury me. I know he respects me, so I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying, eat a dick if you feel like it's appropriate at this time to eat a dick. If you feel like you were perfectly right and that proved you're right, then we'll just leave the dick on the table. But but what he said was, I don't even have a problem with Jungle Boy versus RVD as long as I keep it short. And keep it short, I guess he's saying, as opposed to a normal match, because this isn't a normal match. It's a match with a guy that's in his 50s. I'm assuming he's saying that's what makes it not worthy of a regular time limit. So that's what I wonder from Corny, is if he feels the same way about that.
Yeah, well,
but I wonder enough to lose sleep over it. But while we're talking about it, and while a lot of people are listening, that's meant for a lot of people, as far as what they were wondering and how they feel now and all that, because I mean, come on, obviously I made a lot of people eat shit. And then, I'm sure when I get on social media or when I get on Twitter, I'm sure there'll be those that just doubled down, What? He was out of shape, man. You're crazy. He couldn't even fucking move.
Well, I will say, from what I saw on social media and stuff like that, the majority of what I saw, I don't think I saw anything negative at all.
Majority of people love RVD. I know that.
Mm-hmm. I know. So the feedback was, very good. People were like, man, he's proving motherfuckers wrong and shit like that. And so, very good. Well, I do have a list of questions that I wrote out. Let me see if I can pull that shit up. But let's I did want to get your opinion on, I posted this. Now, you mentioned it, the backstage little segment with you and Jerry. And I added a little bit. Name this buddy cop film. And we got some pretty good feedback on this.
That's fine.
So I'll give a few of them here. You pick what's your favorite one. Jerry even chimed in on this. So the whole effing force. Okay, get that one. JL and Mr. Green, I think, could be a little bit more original, a little bit maybe, but I see where he's going. This is the one Jerry liked, or added to, at least. He added to it. Okay. Somebody said 420 plus one, and he was like maybe 840.
Right? Yeah.
Then we got Battle Creek 10-4-20. I kind of like that one. I like that one. So they even give a location. So if you had a place, that would be Battle Creek, Michigan. Broken Joints.
That's funny.
I think this is my favorite. I think is High State.
Hey, that's
High
pretty
State.
good.
I like that. And then we had a litany of it. Did I get the other three in here? Did I get this one? Yes, I did. The Effin' Cop Show. Smoke and Mirrors. I like Smoke and Mirrors a lot too. And then to Nick Nolte tribute here, the 420 hours. So
Why is that a Nick Nolte tribute?
48 hours. Him and Eddie Murphy did the 48 hours buddy cop film. So
No, how does 420? Okay, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So they did the 48 hours film back in the 80s.
Because if they would have said 420 hours, we wouldn't have, I don't know. I get it. It means the same as 420 hours, right? But then it wouldn't have, maybe would have been harder to understand.
Would have been harder to get. Yeah.
And I've seen that so many times, that movie. Did we all?
Yeah, right? You can't beat that. That's a good that is a good buddy cop film right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, my questions here. Let's see what I boom. Go to this one.
Doesn't feel like a Friday. It feels like a Monday.
I know it really does.
Ooh.
It really does. All right. So let's take a look here. Yeah, just overall, how did it feel about getting back in a wrestling ring on national TV? It's been like 3 years since Impact. So feel pretty good overall, Rob.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I can add to that. It's like a lot of my fans know, like, I didn't stop wrestling, but not everybody knows that. So a lot of people are saying, we're glad to see you return to wrestling or whatever. And I get what they mean. But for me, it's not that much different, except you're coming in on a moving train, like you're jumping in on a train that's already in motion. It's going somewhere. So you're part of, there's programs and storylines and ongoing relationships that are building and that are disintegrating and all that. And so with the exception of that, as compared to an indie show, would be like a train that's just parked at a train station. You can jump on and jump off. It ain't going anywhere for 8 hours. That's what's different, is that people are watching it, they're connected to it because there's a lot of people on the train. I feel like I need to train. Get it?
Yeah.
But it was cool. I mean, it was cool, and it reaches a lot more people, obviously. So that's the most important thing, and that's obvious from the chatter. The chatter that I get
going down there. What'd you think of Jungle Boy's work in the ring?
I thought he was really good. I thought he's I saw him when he was training. I told you that, right? Or no? We talk about that? Or no?
I don't think you did.
Okay, so when I lived in LA, Katie would train at this wrestling school in LA called Santino Brothers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I would go there with her and mostly just stretch, while everyone's working out. And Jungle Boy was there, so he was training and stuff. So obviously he's come a long way since then. But yeah, dude, he's comfortable out there and smooth, fucking timing, relaxed, boom. He cheated, bro. What do you want me to say?
I'm still upset about that, actually.
Also, I met him when he was a little kid. When I met his dad,
Luke.
Luke was a wrestling fan, and so when we were at the Staples Center, it was probably 2001. I remember, meeting Luke Perry and his little kid.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, he's got the RVD influence in him early on. Oh, he did give a little reaction to your point. He kind of dug it. He complimented you, but then he put himself over, obviously. So this is what he said on Twitter. To all the losers on here who like to talk shit without having done anything in their lives, RVD is still a world-class freak athlete, one-of-a-kind, amazing professional wrestler, and beating him cements my legacy as the greatest FTW champion to ever live.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool, man. I think
cool.
Yeah,
right?
he's right though. No, he ain't burying me. That's right. He beat somebody that put him through a fight. I was there to punish him, and I was doing it. And I think it went well, and I think that definitely that match elevated him. And you know what? It elevated me too because a lot of people thought I was in a wheelchair. I
Your
mean, when you
fragility, your
think
poor
about it,
fragility.
that match elevated me because now people know I can fucking work. That somehow thought that I was gonna be like their grandpa. There's nothing in my life that's like your grandpa's. Like I said, not my love life, not my usage, not my choice of values to share, not my educational information that I like people to have. And a lot of those choices are not popular choices, and people wish I would keep it to myself. By the way, the video that we did last week, I
Yeah.
didn't smoke through it, right?
No, I don't think so.
Right, because YouTube Chris said the one before got demonetized, it got taken down, it got flagged, stricken, whatever the fuck they do,
Yeah.
a couple of times after going through the robot and then going through a manual review, but they don't tell you why. And so,
No, they don't. Yeah.
so he put it up there. It's up there in its entirety. I think it's the first full.
So the Triple H one is up now. The full episode is now. But then the one we just did last week too is up there.
Yeah.
Too,
so it'd be the Triple H one then that they had some problem with. I don't know. And you know what's weird about them not telling you is like I've read that like there's some weird rules because I've heard people say, well, I can't swear within the first 30 seconds of the video. Like, where do you find those rules at if those exist? I don't know, man. Someone tell me.
When you upload it, they give you like kind of the parameters that you.
But does it say no? Does it
Some
say
of
no?
it does say that. I think it at the initial. But as long as you do like inappropriate language, you click inappropriate language, then that clears it. So. But
right.
Yeah, you still kind of got to be careful. It's not, like when you're uploading the video, they give you those kind of choice options of like, hey, what category does this fit in? Of like, what kind of content is it exactly? So a little bit. But to your point though, like, because I like what I told you, I thought when they flag you, they would tell you, or they would give you an indication of what is getting demonetized. Because they would like music, especially, they'll be like, if this is copyrighted music, you can't, boom, it's demonetized. That's what I would get notifications of. But for that kind of stuff, it's like up in the air. You just don't know what it is exactly sometimes. So.
Weird. I mean, it's not even illegal or immoral in any way. I wonder. So if we did an episode on cannabis, I wonder if that would be a flag. Just
you know what? It very well could be. I think. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, while we're talking about it, some of the social media posts that I read that I would have thrown into the toxic category, Katie kind of straightened me up on. And when it comes to smoking, like, I think it's 2023. If you believe that anybody that uses cannabis has nothing to say of value or relevance, that's on you. I mean, you're an idiot. But that's how I feel when somebody, like, no matter what I do or whatever the video is on, they'll just say, go home, Rob, you're baked. You know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah, that's the dismissive thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I take, it's stupid. You know what I mean? And so I just wanted, like, on these videos, sometimes we'll go a couple hours. I'll smoke 2 complete joints down during the interview. And I mean, I'm not smoking the weakest shit either, right?
Yeah.
But do I get fucking blitzed?
I can't ever tell, Rob. And honestly, when you said that, I don't even know you're smoking 2 joints. Like, I just don't.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, I've El Generico. I mean, by the way, how about my memory? Like, I mean, like, is my memory even like, it's weird because some of the comments going into the match were like, Rob needs to be concerned about his health. What does that mean? What does that mean? Is that because of the lungs thing, because of the cannabis, or is that, like these idiots on social media, because of them, because of the ones that will just spread gossip instead of the truth or even giving a fuck if it is the truth. This is what my legacy is going to go down as. All right. I'm going to be an addicted drug user that's in horrible health from overusage of cannabis and CTE and what else? Like that's gonna be my legacy, and that's what people think. So anyway, it's there's only so much control you could do, but in a peripheral way, I feel like by smoking on here and showing I can still recollect facts, years, numbers, names. I feel like I'm showing that I don't get obliterated, but that's what some people love to go to, and there's no question about it that a lot of people during this match are gonna say, dude, how baked were you before that match, bro? Oh my god, dude. Not only wasn't I, but I feel like I'm above that, and I feel like I get like in order to connect to the stoner population, sometimes I gotta lower into being into some funny, jokey, compromising positions sometimes.
Yeah.
But overall, it's like, it's like I feel like I'm, really like lowering myself to do that, and really, it's not a good representation of cannabis as an advocate. So obviously, I care about that, but I feel like, just like when I go out there and had the 10 minutes with Jack Perry and doing all that shit, I feel like as much as I would be proving people wrong that say, hey, you're 52, you can't do that, I feel the same way about smoking and carrying on an intelligent conversation or functioning in any way that I choose to. So if you didn't pick up on that, though, I just want to throw that out there. That's how I feel about it anyway. So we were talking about somebody that I was talking to. Here I am talking about my memory, and now I just forgot the guy.
You mentioned you said El Generico? Were you gonna say?
Yeah, thank you.
Sami Zayn.
Well, really, I'm just kind of hitting I'm hitting the same point, but I'll finish the story here. So yeah, El Generico was in Sami Zayn, right? Same guy. Years ago, he was in Amsterdam. We have a mutual friend, Martine, that lived in Amsterdam, and this was pre-Katie, and Katie and I had been together going on 8 years. So
yeah.
Trying to think if I had the evil ex with me or was I by myself. I think she was. Ew. But anyway, Martine, he had his girlfriend, and Sammy and myself. I think the evil ex was with us. We went around Amsterdam to all these different coffee shops, but the subject of smoking came up, and Martine's girlfriend said, "I'll smoke anyone under the table," and I was like, well, that's just not going to happen, but I think I understand what you're saying. You're saying you smoke a lot, right? It's just, I'm the last one standing always. And I'm like, yeah, that's cute, and we went to a coffee shop, smoked a couple, and Martine was our tour guide because he lives there. He's, oh, let me show you this one over here, this half Dutch weird kind of accent. And oh my God, I don't want to get sidetracked, but there's some stories on this walk too.
Yeah.
Bring me back here if I get lost. All right.
Okay.
He's taken us several blocks walking to go to this special, one of his places he likes to go to. And at one place, for some reason, there was a restaurant, and this was like late at this point. It was closed, but the door was cracked open, and I couldn't just walk by it. I was like, dude, that's not normal. Someone probably broke in there or something. And I ran up there and I opened up the door and I'm like, hello, is anybody in here? Because all the lights were out. Mm-hmm. Martine was so scared. He's like, Rob, please, no, this is not okay. We must go. And I was like, they might need our help, dude. I was like, hello. And He was like, Rob, please, no, the police will come. This is big trouble, please. And I was like, dude, there could be some restaurant workers or owners tied up in the kitchen or something.
Yeah.
You know? We can't just like walk up. And I opened the door and I like started walking in and said, he was like pissing his pants. Please, Rob, I swear this is not okay. This is no, we must go. And I was like, hello, do you need my help? Anyway, we walked on, and that was just like a funny memory. I don't know what the fuck the door was jarred open for. Nobody was in there, so that is weird. Wow. But
that is
anyway, that was later. That was later at night. It was in the daytime. We went to all these different coffee shops, and his girlfriend, was literally sleeping under the table. So, I'm still like rolling them up and stuff. And one of us asked, talked about, asked Sammy what he thought. Well, who do you think? Who do you think was able to last longer? Her or RVD? And Sammy looked at me and he said, "Apparently, it doesn't phase him." Which, by the way, I gotta add, Sammy did not smoke at all. He was just hanging out with us.
Just hanging out, yeah.
By the way, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't want to insinuate that he was partaking just because he wasn't.
Yeah,
wasn't his thing. So yeah.
There you go. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, what was some of the reaction backstage after your match with Jungle Boy? So did you get some good reception?
Yeah. Everybody was super cool, and they loved the match. And Katie was watching in the back, with the monitor, and she said that they were all popping, at everything, and so that was a really good feel, good vibe. They were thankful for me to be there. Everybody that I met was super cool and appreciative. So It was all good.
Nice. Before I forget to ask this too, what'd you think of Jungle Boy wearing Jerry Lynn's tights?
That was awesome. I thought it was Jerry at first. Like,
did you really?
Yeah. I saw it in the back, like out of the corner of my eye when I went into a dressing room.
Yeah.
And I just saw him from behind. I was like, wow. Those definitely are Jerry Lynn pants.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, he's nailing it to a T right there.
Yeah.
You mentioned a little bit. Was there anything you wanted to do that you didn't get to do in the match, or any you're always talking about how your head's always going about stuff? But was there anything that really stood out that damn it, I wish I would have got to do this, or maybe done this something a different way, or certain things like that?
There's always going to be a couple of things, like I said, about going up to the top or the split-legged or the rolling thunder, but it's just little things like that, and those are almost so personal, that they're just for me to constantly work on myself, very similar to if I'm on stage, doing stand-up. If I tell a joke and then I'll be like, oh, next time I'm going to set it up differently, by, talking about this first and getting them ready. And that's just part of the art, the craft, that hopefully that never stops. You know what I mean? Because I think that's one of the enjoyable things about it. Not being unfulfilled or displeased with yourself. That's a horrible feeling. But when it's just, when you're pleased and you just can find the ways to make it better. Katie doesn't like me watching her matches sometimes because I'm going to critique it. Like, even everyone else will fill her head up with bullshit, and just be like, that was amazing, and maybe it was, you know what I mean? And she's still getting better and better, and last match that she had in LA, best match I've seen her have, was really good. And that's,
oh yeah.
Yeah. And she's wrestling for the same group in September 9th, no, September 10th, one of those days. And it's, or is it the 23rd? Something's the 23rd too. I don't know. Anyway, it's UWW, I think, and it's all women. Melina was one of the commentators. She did a really good job. But anyway, but yeah, I was proud of her, watching her match and stuff. But it's if I had any advice that I thought might make it even better, would you want to hear it?
Well, hey, if anybody's gonna give the feedback, it's you,
yeah,
why the heck not,
Right.
What did Tony Khan say to you afterwards, after the match and everything? Did you get to speak with him after the fact?
Yeah, he was very thankful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very thankful. He loved the match. He said it was awesome, and it was awesome having me there. And see you next week. Just joking. No,
I'm just gonna clip that part up.
Right.
Just troll people. Take that, trolls.
Yeah.
So you kind of mentioned it too. People were backstage, watching on the monitor and stuff like that. Did you get
allegedly? Because it's hearsay from a reliable source.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Did you get pretty much the same vibe that you did backstage from this week to last week? Did you find a little bit more stuff that stood out to you, or was it just like kind of, hey, the big kind of feel, but like not, small promotion either, like good dynamic overall is kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no, it was all good. It was all good. Good vibe. The boys seem to be happy there overall, and because they have a lot more control if they want it, then they care more, so sometimes they might come across as it's not just fun, but they really have plans invested, and sometimes like fairly long-term, impressively so, plans that they're able to see through, which is really amazing. And some people don't necessarily want that kind of responsibility, and that's understandable as well. So it's a little bit of mix of that, which might affect their vibe a little bit, just in the amount of like the job that they have to do. Like some guys, might be a little more assertive, office like, but everybody's super cool. Except this one guy was such a dick. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, let's hear it. It was Jerry, wasn't it? It was Jerry.
Oh, God darn it. It's always me. Dang it.
Who else did you get to interact with backstage that you didn't get to the week before? Or anything? Anybody? Did you headbutt Jeff Hardy?
No. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's hard to separate.
Any like younger talent come by that didn't come by the week before or anything?
I mean, I don't think that I met MJF before.
Okay.
That was cool to meet him. Good dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the guys who come up and introduce themselves, and I'm not going to be able to repeat all their names because some of them, if I didn't know, I might have forgot.
Sure,
but everyone was like really respectful, and I'm trying to think if there's any other legends. I got to talk to Chris Jericho for a minute. Didn't really get to see him last week. Or I might have just saw him in passing real quick. Yeah, I did. But this time, got to talk for a minute. Christian wasn't there. Big Show wasn't there, I don't think. And Mark Henry, got to talk to him. Got to talk with Matt Hardy for a while.
Yeah, that's the man.
Yeah. And,
How about, somebody gave you some praise on there too. Let me pull up the quote. I actually snipped it. What an ovation Rob got. And let me tell you, he's one cool son of a bitch. He's so laid back and so cool, and it's great to have him there.
Nice.
Tony.
That was there you
yep.
Nice.
So,
awesome. Yeah, I've known Tony, I guess, since like 92, because I started WCW in December 92 and stayed there till like May of 93. And I believe he was there from the get-go. I'm pretty sure he was there. I think he was there before me.
Yeah, I think so. I know he had like a little stint in WWF for a bit, and then he went back, I think, or something too. I might have.
I think that was later. I think
that was later too. Yeah, you mentioned it too. Hardy's that night had it was the first match of the night. They had a match with the Young Bucks. Did you get to check that match out at all? Did you get to watch any of the matches, or was it mostly just backstage kind of assimilating and then just going out and having your match?
Yeah, I watched very little, like maybe 2 or 3 minutes of wrestling the whole night, just by sometimes being in the room, looking at the monitor while I was stretching or whatever. So not really enough to talk about. Don't even remember exactly what I saw.
Yeah.
It was cool though. Whatever I saw was cool.
Yeah. I know it was pretty neat to see the Hardys still going, and like to your point too, it's like you're in shape, Jericho's in shape, the Hardys both all look great. It's just like and people. I'll circle back to this too. You mentioned the chalk line shirt and everything like that, and how But I remember Kevin Nash telling John Cena that it was always good to wear like extra large shirts because when you take off and show it to everybody, it's all the more surprise too of it all too. So it's another way to look at it. And like to your point too, you're a thicker dude. Like you've always just been a thick dude. And somebody mentioned that too on a podcast too. Like Rob's a thick guy and was saying how
always, yeah. And if you talk to any wrestlers that have wrestled me, or if you hear them talking about me like in interviews or whatever, they've always said that, that I'm like, I'm always told that I'm hard like a rock. Like people when they touch me, they're always like, damn, because I'm hard and thick, and because of that, I've always been heavier on the weight scale than I look. Which, by the way, for anybody that's looking at my pictures or that just saw that I'm in condition, because some of the people are like, man, I saw one comment. One comment said, man, RVD dropped mad weight. No, I didn't. Just so that you know, I'm within 5 pounds roughly of what I always weigh. So it's not that, and it's just your expectations. And if there was a reason to, maybe in the book or whatever, I could show pictures like all through, like even my Impact run, when people, some people actually think that I was out of shape. I've never been out of shape. I've never been a chubby. As a matter of fact, I've never even tried to lose weight. My goal has always been to put on weight and to try to get bigger. Mm-hmm. And then like the last few years, like I don't know how many years ago, but I just don't care, so I don't fight for that. It's more of just maintaining now, which according to the competitive spirit, if you're not always trying to be the better you, then you might as well be dead. I'm comfortable with the word maintaining, although I'm always making results in different areas. So maintaining really is misleading. But as far as my weight goes, I'm not comfortable if I start seeing it anywhere close to like 225. If I see like 227 or whatever, I'm like, I better start eating a little bit more. And then, like if I get to 237, then I'm comfortable. But as I clean up my diet, just through living long and learning more about, avoiding sugar and this and that, and a lot of prep meals, and for a lot of reasons, I always knew I would just focus more on that part the older I get, because it would just come naturally. And as it does, then I don't mind if I see 230, 231. I'm real comfortable with that. But a few years ago, I would have been, oh no, I want to be 240. Rah.
Yeah. Now, was there a like when you bulk up, or like when you feel that you're putting on muscle mass or anything like that, is there a threshold where you're like, this is a little too much, like it's kind of throwing me off my game a little bit? Or is there
it's just you mean like in the ring or something?
In the ring or anything like that? Yeah, like where you're
it's
just
so
like
much work. It's just so much work. This is what I do like normally in a day, but now I've been kind of like waiting in the morning because I'm learning more about fasting and how your body's own growth hormone system is shut down as soon as you have sugar in your system. So when you wake up, there's benefits to a lot of people hit the cardio first thing on an empty stomach. And I always thought that's, according to old school, that's the worst thing you can do, because then you're going to burn off your muscles instead of fat. But you actually do still have like sugar, blood sugar, and it's, whether it's in your your muscles or your fat or your liver, either way, you are still going to have some in there that you can burn off. So if you add to it, then you're not going to burn off what you already got. You know what I mean? And there's an order that it burns off too. So anyway, there's a lot of things that I do that are a little different, but normally though, I eat, it's always been work. Jerry Lynn, I remember him saying this way back in ECW. He was always said he was surprised that I kept on so much weight by as little as I would eat when we were around each other like all day. But I try to get 50 grams of protein, as close to it as I can, in each setting. And I do that like 6 times a day, like 3, at least, 2 or 3, sometimes 4 times a day. It's going to be protein scoops, 25 grams per scoop. So I do 2 scoops, and I do that because I dry scoop it. That's how I do it, and then rinse it down. But I do that in between my meals, and I get 3, 4 meals sometimes more if I'm up a lot, but that's probably like what I average is probably around 300 grams of protein a day. But then, that's just like an old school rule of thumb of what I do. And that's a lot of work even,
Yeah. Keep being
like
mindful of all that, especially too when you're on the road. It's got to be fucking tough, All right, so the questions people have been clamoring about here. So is it one and done with AEW? Is what a lot of people ask. Is there more to come, or is it just a we'll see kind of aspect for you, Rob, with All Elite Wrestling?
Well, was it talked about between me and Tony about me coming back? Yeah. The details of that conversation, we'll have to wait and see.
I like it. Yes, the air of mystery. I love the air of mystery. Just leave it up to me. See what happens.
We'll see.
Any other thoughts you want to give about AEW or your experience or anything that I might have missed that I didn't cover? Stand out to you that you're like, oh shit, yeah, I want to definitely mention this or.
Yeah, everybody that all the marks that think that RVD should be experiencing every AEW wrestler turning their back on me because I said all petite wrestling, eat a dick.
Eat a dick. That might be. I
don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I doubt they give a fuck.
Right.
Someone said, "What about his heat with the Bucks?" What heat with?
That's what I thought. I was like, that guy that called me a smiley goon. He was like, "Why isn't he asking about the Bucks?" And I was like, "Why do I ask about the Bucks? I didn't even know there was an issue."
Do you know what that is about, or no? Because I can fill you in.
Online, yeah. Tell me, because I wasn't.
No, it was just I said something about how when they walked by me, I guess in WWE, how they didn't introduce themselves, which to old school rules, that was a, I don't know if I want to call it a commandment. I guess it is actually, it's one of the biblical commandments of the dressing room, especially when you're new or you're, don't know everybody. You're supposed to introduce yourself a certain way, protocol, just like the fucking mafia. A made man cannot introduce himself to another made man as a made man. He has to be introduced by someone else in the middle, and we had our protocols too. And anyway, I just pointed that out. Said, hey, they didn't shake my hand or whatever. But I also did throw in something that could be taken as an insult, which I didn't own up to at first because I was like, all I said was they didn't shake my hand, but I did say something about them looking like 2 high schoolers. So that was something, that was provoking, looking back at it. I don't think I even realized it when I said it, or maybe I did, but either way. And then they did the same thing a couple nights later or something to Booker T. And then Booker T posted something about, I see what my friend Rob's talking about. You will shake my hand next time you walk by me, something like that. And then Goldust had the same experience. And then he said something about it. And then I saw while these 2 guys were in Japan, they're doing one of them is doing the RVD thing when they come out, and the other one's doing Booker.
The Booker, the black time.
I thought that was great. Yeah. That's the whole heat. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That I know of anyway.
It's just like, oh man, people got to get over this shit.
I thought that was great that they were capitalizing on it like that.
Right, they lean into it. They do that with the other stuff too, like any tension with the FTR, not FTR, CM Punk and stuff like that. But it's funny shit. It's like, hey, it makes it entertaining for the fans.
Yeah,
why the heck not?
Yep.
Cool, Rob. Let's hold off on the Van Dam match, but we will tease it. Let's tease it because YouTube Chris put it out there, and it's going to be a cool one because it was one that was an anniversary when you first showed up in AEW. It was 27 years to the day that the stretcher match happened. So we'll be discussing the stretcher match probably next week. We'll see what happens.
And of course, Tony Khan was at the stretcher match, and he wanted me to very much to know that it was there and that it meant a lot to him. And that it elevated me. He said that was a special moment in my career elevation as well. And I remember that match as being my favorite at the time. So very cool.
Yeah. Super cool.
Which by the way, I think we've been on almost an hour anyway. We talked so much at the beginning, like we don't need an RVDology at the end. So don't worry about saving time for that one. Usually we do these things longer, and probably after this one, we probably will again this week and last week. We did short because of schedule conflicts. Sometimes it be that way.
Sometimes I was going to ask you too. The elephant in the room I was going to address is 2 weeks from now. It's going to be pumpkin spice season at Starbucks. Are you excited for that, Rob?
I hadn't even thought about it. Now that I think about it, no. But when I say my favorite part of pumpkin season is standing out in front of any store that puts the bales of hay or straw or even inside, and I stand there, and when people walk by, I go, "Hey, hey," and then I point to it, and they look at me like I'm fucking crazy.
I like it. I want them to bring bales of hay. Hey,
look, hey,
look,
hey. Yeah, they walk by and they like check in their pockets, like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I'm like, hey,
man.
Yeah.
Are you
it's only funny to me. It's never funny to my companion ever.
They don't like.
Katie's had to put up with it for years and years, and my evil ex had to put up with that. I think I've probably been doing that since high school. Me and Dango used to do that. Yeah.
when your companion doesn't like it, you almost have to kind of lean into it sometimes. Be like,
it's funny. It's just funny.
Are you and Katie Halloween people at all?
No. She would be if I wanted to be. You know what I mean? She loves kids, and I love seeing her with kids because she's so happy. And even in Tulsa at the Oklahoma Comic Con, man, when some babies come by, she's like, "Oh my God, he's so chubby!" She'll pick them up, and she's like, and she's just loves on them for like 10 minutes and stuff, and it's awesome to see her so happy with that. For me, one, I don't want anyone coming to my door. You know what I mean? Like, fuck no. And don't mail me shit either. You're not going to see it again.
That's right. It's just not going to happen.
Don't do that. Also, I figured this out years ago. It was when I was hanging out with David DeFalco. Movie dude, horror dude, like into demons, like really, eccentric, weird dude. And he really would love Halloween. It was his favorite holiday of all year. And he would, however he dressed. And I was like, I remember thinking, like, why is an adult, like, is it like so exciting for you to dress up and to go out like in a costume and pretend you're someone else or whatever? I didn't get it. And after he explained it to me, I figured that's regular people's one day a year to have my life. To where people are excited. Yeah. To where people are excited to see you, want to get pictures with you. Yeah. Want to give you compliments and shit. People you don't even know, strangers. Yeah.
That's I never looked at it that way. It makes sense that you would see it that way too. Like, it's just like, oh, you're not used to that. Like, you're used to that all the time. But if you're dressing as some guy like decks himself out like Beetlejuice or whatever, then it's like, hey, that's fucking sweet. I need a picture,
Yeah, totally. Yeah. People are excited to see them, and they're like a little celebrity for the night.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Great. Cool, man. Guys, Well, thanks for tuning in this week. We'll try to get back onto the normal kind of time frame and what we do too. The RVDology is always great. I will say the last one we did was role models that we did, and from what I learned from that was just kind of being more focused on like my niece and stuff like that, and seeing how, she doesn't see me too often, but if she was to see me, I would want to give her a different impression than what she gets from her dad. Kind of get a little bit of the vibe of the whole D'Angelo mix. So
Yeah.
I kept that in mind about being a role model and stuff like that. So
Okay. Yeah. I think I said this last week or the week before, whatever. And I'll say it again. As far as me, we all have our own values. Some of you men want to raise your sons to cheat on their wives because you do, and because in your world, that's just what people do. To me, I hate cheats. I hate liars, and I'm not one of either. So I would never ever want to influence someone else to be one of those people, because I think those people are shitty. And to each their own. And I've been there, and that's why, because I think when I was there, I was shitty. And that was like so long ago that when I look at younger people that are in their 20s, early 30s, or whatever, and they think that I'm supposed to feel somehow less because I'm 52 instead of 32. Dude, I was an idiot at 32, and no, I'm way more. I'm way, way more at 52 than 32. Maybe not for you, because maybe for your life, you'd rather watch me wrestle Shelton Benjamin on TV every Monday night. But for me, bro, as far as like influencing people as a role model, I got to tell you, I manifested things that I want in my life. I have a fantasy life. Katie is fucking awesome. She is a fantasy wife. I'm always learning. She's cooler and cooler and cooler all the time. I don't know how many people can say that, but we have this bond. I would never lie to her or cheat her. I would rather she know everything about me, because then I feel so much better about her interpretation of me. Her feelings are bond everything. And it's like that with everybody too. That's why I don't lie to anybody. I want them to know the truth. And there's image. We talked about that.
mm-hmm.
And if you're a celebrity, you got to deny certain things, or you used to have to. But I hate all that shit too. And I think my real fans know that. That's why they say that I'm a real one, because I don't like standing. This is cliche, but I would rather go down for what I believe in than go up for something that I don't. And I'm not saying I wouldn't take a job promoting something, a product. I did something from Cameo the other day promoting some milk. What is it? Like some crazy milk, but it's not. I can't remember what it is. If he watches this, he's going to be pissed because he's really trying to promote this, but it's a protein milk, and he had all these lines he wanted me to say, like a business kind of thing. And
yeah.
I did a little bit, and it's like that's there's professional image. You know what I mean? You do promos. That's a character. Doesn't mean that's really how you feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't sleep until I get you in the ring. Cut. Okay.
I'm beat. I gotta fucking go.
That doesn't make you a liar.
No.
But the real genuine you got to be able to turn it on and turn it off, at least according to my values. So as far as a role model goes, dude, like I said, my fucking have I bragged about my love life enough yet today? There's exciting shit going on. My career, and even bringing the world around to where marijuana is legal, because I didn't want that because RVD just wants to get baked. I want that for the better good. In fact, if me stopping smoking marijuana would make it so that everybody that needed it for their illnesses or life quality could get it, I would do that. I don't expect many people would. And again, I don't expect everyone to believe this, or that I felt fine after my match, or anything else that they don't want to believe, because their skulls are impenetrable, and we don't want to disrupt that status.
Don't want to. No. If you want to keep basic thinking, keep basic thinking. That's it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Be you. By
Yes.
the way, even that video of BU, sometimes when they leave like really shitty comments, I wonder like, did they read any of the other comments? You know, like I did the split and I was blown away by how many people said, Rob, this hit me perfect timing. I really needed to hear that. Like I touched a lot more people with that than I would have expected on all the platforms. Overwhelming people saying, man, I really need to hear this, man. And those are the videos, boom, 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 a million of those. Wow, this is so cool, man. You're so inspirational. And you hit me just at the right time. And then there'll be like one idiot that says, dude's so baked, he's not even making sense.
Oh my
and I
God.
put the crying laugh face on it. Like,
yeah.
why?
What?
Like, why even do that?
Yeah, that's
if,
like
if it's making sense in 100 people, 500 people,
one guy doesn't get it.
yeah, like, don't you think maybe it could be you? Like, you don't understand it? But anyway, that's why I throw that out there too.
Well, cool, man. Anything you want to promote before we split on out of here?
No. I think we're good till we get together next week, Dominator.
Sweet. It sounds good. Guys, if you like what you're seeing, go to the Premier Streaming Network. You can get it early, but you can now get all full episodes coming up the following Monday or the week after at some point on YouTube, on RVD's YouTube. Just go to rvdpod.com and it'll take you right there. So, guys, thank you for tuning in this week. And Rob, I think if they don't like what they're hearing and stuff like that, we can just say, hey, eat a dick.
That's really the takeaway from today.
I think it is. I think, Jerry, what's the guy's name?
Dang it. What's his name? Not Jerry Lynn.
Dang it. Not Jerry Lynn, but Jerry Springer.
Seinfeld.
Jerry Springer. That was his final thought. Our final thought is that eat a dick. Or be one of a kind.
Just for today.
Just for today. We'll leave it on the table.